So again, what a pleasure, what a joy, what a blessing coming your way every Thursday or whenever you get to be part of this conversation and participate in this conversation. Very important conversations indeed. And I must tell you that for those of you who are familiar with these sessions and these engagements, we do have other forms of engagement we call open forum sessions. And by open forum sessions, what it means is we bring a couple of people together who have successfully engaged leadership at these four levels: faith leadership, transformational leadership, entrepreneurial leadership, and of course digital leadership, which are the four pillars we major on as Global Changemakers Africa. We bring these individuals together and we chat, we have conversation with them, and the idea is to sort of extract from them, get from them their stories, their journeys, and where they've been. And as we listen to their stories, their journeys, and where they've been, how they how they arrived where they are at, we will learn the values, the principles, the kind of mindset with which they succeeded to do what they did. That is going to be coming on not too long from here, and we are going to announce that and give you the exact date and the exact time, but it's not going to be long, I can promise you that. Now, it's not going to be this monologue approach where it's always just me or one person sitting to share, but it's going to be in the conversational forum. In fact, we're going to have more of that in this year in particular. However, because we're beginning the year, we felt that it will be important to bring to bear in the conversation certain important themes or topics that form the pillars on which life stands. Now, there is no life without the understanding fundamentally of the point we have been making in the power of desire, the power of you, and now mindset, dealing with mindset. The power of desire just simply means desire is so fundamentally so basic to life. You have to want something. You have to desire something. As to how small, how large, how big, it's really on you. You have to want something. You have to desire something. And so the power of desire is a major pillar on which life sits. It has really nothing to do with the faith or the religion you practice. It has everything to do with you as a human being and the fact that you were made and endowed and blessed by your Creator with these capabilities. We've also discussed the power of desire. Apart from the power of desire, we've also discussed the power of you, and by the power of you simply meaning everything, and I mean literally everything that will amount you to anything. The power to make that happen is in your hands, So the power of you simply means you are responsible for you. You must stand up for you. You must fight for you. You must look out for you. You and you and you and you are the beginning of any transformational change that should come to you. And the power, the software within you, blessed with which you are blessed with by the Creator, is indeed vested in you already. The Creator blessed us and endowed us with all of these capabilities, and it is you. Now we're considering mindset. Mindset is so basic. Everything you are is mindset. I'm going to read under the concept and nature of mindset as we read. I'm going to I'm going to read, Mahatma Gandhi's quote again. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny. Again, two main things I'd like you to take from this quote. Number one is nothing about your destiny, what you were born to be, born to do, the great game changer, difference maker, the great change maker, world changer you were born to be. Nothing about it hinges on luck, as it were, good luck, where you just sit and hope that some good luck would happen to you, some nice omen, good omen, not bad omen, but some good omen would happen to you. People have that belief system, and people hold those belief systems really strong and really dear. But even in the context of religion, even if one holds dear those belief systems, life is such that in our common humanity, there are faculties that make us who we are and what we want to be. Fundamentally, the mindset, a person's mind, a person's thinking, the thought systems is everything. As I share these thoughts with you, and I've been sharing these thoughts with you for a while now, that I need to say this. That's not to say that I have arrived or that I have achieved as much as I want to. Of course, there's nothing really like being satisfied, being happy. Well, you can be happy with every milestone of achievement, and you must by all means celebrate every milestone of achievement, but you should by no means be content and happy and satisfied and freeze your movement. So I have been making progress myself gradually, just as you, step by step. That's not to say that I share these things because I am there. I'm not. Like you, I'm pushing, I'm persevering, I'm working these values every day, I'm working these principles every day. I don't get it perfectly. I don't get it right. I don't get it the way I want and the way I should. I don't get the results the way I should. But guess what? The critical thing is not giving up, but continuing to run, continuing to move, continuing to create traction and movement. That is really where the bane of the matter is. So, mindset, dealing with what it is based on Gandhi's quote. It's beliefs. Okay, mindset is beliefs. Beliefs will produce your thoughts, and then your thoughts will definitely birth your words. Your words will activate your actions, and then your actions will sort of structure and set your habits, and then your habits will definitely define your values, and then our values is what our destiny is. So a person can be set on the course of destruction, a person can be set on the course of depravity, a person can be set on the course of self-destruct, a person can be set on the course of deprivation all of their lives, and not wonder, why am I in this kind of a free fall to destruction? But guess what? It will be because you have not sat down to consider that there's nothing really magical, or if you like, nothing really happenstance about life. Of course, life happens. There's happenstance in life, but we are blessed as the human species we are to be the agents of our own transformation if we understand how the knobs and the buttons we must press work. Mindset is one of the mindset. How we think, what has formed the mindset. What forms the mindset? It's from the childhood stages right up through to the adult stages. It is the experiences, the images, the thoughts, and then the emotions that are evoked and elicited. These variables, they come together. They come together. So what you repeatedly see, what you repeatedly hear, they are crucial to forming your mindset. Let me go a step ahead of myself and say this, even though we haven't gotten there yet, but I'll say this. What it means, therefore, is if mindset is so critical, so crucial, young people, especially from 15 to 18 to 20 to 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, because for us as global change makers Africa, this is our heart. This is where our heart is. This is where our focus is. For young people of this demographic. But everybody really is invited to participate and to be a part of this conversation. You could be 80, 70, 60, 90, 100. You are still a big part of this conversation. But specifically and particularly for all of us young people between 15, 18, right up to 45, that's a big demographic. But this is also the demographic where change, transformational change or negative change takes place. And that's why we focus on this demographic, because we believe that these thoughts are needed and can be easily imbibed within this demographic group. Let me say it again, that for all of us, and as I was saying, and as I've said over and over and over, for all of us, mindset is everything. You are your mindset. I am my mindset. We all are our mindsets. And all of us together, if Africa will change and transform, we need to talk about the thinking, the quality of thinking, the quality of thought. Why would a person do some of the outrageous things they do? It's all mindset. And how did the mindset form? Repeated engagement of images, viewing images, looking at images. And when I say images, all manner of things, lifestyle, that's been, the person has had the opportunity to view, experience, be part of. They've all formed part of their experience. And so it results in forming mindset. So images and thoughts, images and thoughts, images and thoughts. These are the two critical pillars of mindset. So, as I said earlier, if we are going to change mindset and do something about mindset so that our lives will change, our society will change, our nations will change, our religious groups will change, our economies will change, anything and everything will change, it is going to be based on the exact same variables that are responsible for mindset, and that is images and thoughts, images and thoughts. In other words, you and I have to control what comes into your mind and what sort of finds its way into your mind. You should not allow anything to invade your thought life. Young people, you should fight back, fight back, literally fight back, and refuse to allow anything negative, anything diminishing, anything that is opposite these truths we have been considering, that you are endowed and blessed by your Creator to be that game changer, that difference maker you were born to be. You and I must posture ourselves and sort of dig in. We must dig in. I'm telling you, dig in, ready for a fight, the fight of our lives, to determine that nothing will invade our space, the space of our minds, our thinking, our thought lives. And then the images come from two things. Images come from the people, what they show you, what you see. And images also come by way of information, verbal information, non-verbal information, written, non-written, all of that. So knowledge, and then the people you are associated with. All of these three critical variables: thought life, the people you hang out with, and the images you keep feeding yourself with. These will form your mindset. And once your mindset is formed and is locked in, that's it, my friend. You're finished. You're done. If it's bad, it means your actions, your thoughts, your words, your lifestyle, based on Mahatma Gandhi's quote, your habits, your actions, all of that, your values will be dictated by what you've allowed to form your mindset. That's why exposure, engaging different scenarios of positive images is so important. So let's look at the principles used to describe the underlying nature of mindset. We've been looking at the concept of mindset. Now let's look at the nature of mindset. Before we delve into the principles and nature of mindsets, it's important to understand the power in our mindsets. This was succinctly and accurately put by author David Kushiri when he said, the mind is a powerful force. The mind is a powerful force. It can enslave us or empower us. It can plunge us into the depths of misery or take us to the heights of ecstasy. Learn to use the power wisely. But I would add to David Kushiri's quote that it's not just automatic that your mind is a powerful force for good. You will have to invest in the crafting, the couching, the formation of your mindset with quality feed for it to be a force for good. For it to be a force for good. Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Malawi, Malaysia. Malaysia is not part of Africa, but just focusing on Africa right now. From Cairo to Cape Town, Senegal to Somalia, we have to understand that our continent is exactly what the mindset of its people are. It's no magic to it. There's no magic to it. And again, as I said, I like to repeat that even faith and religion will not help you enough if the faith and the religion is not empowering to giving you a productive, growth, progressive mindset. That should be it, because the mindset is formed, it is fed to be formed. And what you feed it with, what you feed yourself with, remember, it's the images, it's the thoughts. Underlining the images and the thoughts will be the people you hang out with, the knowledge, information that bombards you, hits you, the friends, the people. All of these really are the critical pillars that form the mindset. So you feed it right, make sure the people are healthy, the information is healthy, make sure that all of these variables, the thoughts are healthy thoughts, positive thoughts, strong thoughts. Then you have the mind, which is a powerful force for good. For good. Buddha also famously said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Ooh, isn't that powerful, young people? What you think, you become. What you think, you become. What we think, we become. What I think, I become. So Ghana, Africa, Nigeria, Africa, it is what it is. We are what we are right now because the quality of the people and our thinking, the quality of thought. Because you see, thought is so basic, thought is so fundamental to life. Thought is so fundamental to life. There are religions that teach and espouse values and principles and various, aspects of knowledge and all of that. But all of these eventually should point to positive transformational change. How can we celebrate anything that destroys And I don't care what it is. It could be religion, it could be faith, it could be some philosophy, some ideology, whatever it is. If it degrades the sanctity of our human sacredness, the power of our humanity, the beauty of our humanity, any body of knowledge, any body of information that degrades and degenerates the beauty, the power, the sanctity of our humanity, anything that reduces human beings to dogs, bestiality. It doesn't matter what the science says, because for all you know, the science and the information of the science may have been paid for to be influenced to go a certain way or to propagate a certain position that says that you and I, our common humanity, can be reduced to robots and to animals. And so it's okay to, as human beings, to, behave like animals at that level. No, the quality of thought that is fed through our relationships and fed through the information and the knowledge we're bombarded with, and that's fed through the quality of thought life, and that's fed through the images we are encountering every day, especially on social media, repeatedly in our homes, the kind of whether toxic or positive relationships we find ourselves in, whether in the home. And so, as we have been saying, just going back to Gandhi's quote, I believe it's so profound, setting the stage and setting the premise for the conversation into understanding the nature of mindset. Okay? The beliefs, then the thoughts, then the words, then the actions, then the habits, and of course the values, and then our destiny. There's nothing happenstance about the formation of mindset. Mindset is you. Mindset is you. Mindset is you, and you are mindset. As I've said over and over and over, the guy who decided to urinate in that public space, first of all, nobody urinates openly, anywhere, even if it's somewhere in the bush. We don't do it. But he did it. I mean, it's done though, but he did it in this public space, this important place, and he saw nothing wrong with it. It's because through constant exposure to this imagery, this lifestyle, he's seeing nothing wrong with it, imbibing it. That formed his mindset. And that mindset is a devaluing mindset. Devaluing mindset. Now, the thing about mindset is that is because mindset is directly connected to values. You will be surprised that mindset and values are interrelated. They are connected. And so you can also say your mindset are your values are your mindset. Your values is formed out of your mindset. So therefore, if this guy believes he could pee in a public place, urinate in a public place, he has a devaluing mindset. It is a depraved behavior. But guess what? You could, and that's the thing about values, you could have the best of education at the greatest of Ivy Leagues or at the best of the universities, world, global, acclaimed universities. I mean the topmost universities. You could still have educated yourself in the highest of degrees and still be so impoverished in your values, because values really is formed also out of our experiences, and it sets the mindset. The mind is set in a certain pattern of thought. I'll just tell you a little story about my personal life. Growing up as kids, I mean, just as a little boy, my about 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, but I remember it so well, because it stayed with me for a little bit. My mother would, we used to play with frogs, toads, frogs, and we didn't have, not all of us have had the pleasure and the joy and the blessing of having toys, great toys in the home. We didn't have toys. I mean, frogs were our toys. So we would play around with frogs and so on. And of course, my mother didn't like that behavior. So she had to come up with a story to sort of discourage us from playing with frogs and toads as toys, using them as toys. You know what I mean? So one day she will call us and she told us, she said, you know what? If you don't stop playing with these frogs and any of the frogs or the toads jump at you, your gender will suddenly change. So if you were male, just because a frog jumped and touched your skin, your gender would automatically change. If you're a male, you became a female. If you're a female, you became a male. Guess what? We were so scared. This woman scared us as much as she loved us, wanted some story to discourage us and prevent us from playing with frogs. She just hit it home, and she didn't even know it had hit home so hard. This kind of fear stayed with me for quite a bit until I defrogged myself and unlearned it. What I mean is, I read and found the truth and knew that no, it didn't make sense that, just because an animal like a frog would jump at you, your gender changes and you become the opposite of your gender. But I'm saying this, sharing this story, this personal story with you, even though it's a story that I'm sure would make you laugh, it was still so powerful because it became ingrained in my thinking, in my whole thought system, my mindset, to the extent, for a long time I was afraid to go near frogs because she has managed to imbibe in my thought system, in my entire being, this lie with the best of intentions, but it was, untrue, that if a frog jumps at you, your gender changes. Now, here's an example, and I hope it's classic enough to drive home the point about mindset. We pick them up growing up as children, the images and what we've been told and what we've seen, what we've been a part of, over time, gradually forms it. Now, let's look at principles used to describe the underlying nature of mindset. Before we delve into the principles and nature of mindset, it's important to understand the power in our mindsets. The power in our mindsets. This was very succinctly and accurately put by author David Kushiri when he said, the mind is a powerful force. It can enslave us or empower us. It can plunge us into the depths of misery or take us to the heights of ecstasy. Learn to use this power wisely. I'll say it again. Let me take the quote again. Quote, the mind is a very powerful thing. It's a powerful force. It can enslave us or empower us. It can plunge us into the depths of misery or take us up to the heights of ecstasy. Learn to use the power wisely. So, the mind is a powerful force. But here again, based on David Kushiri's quote, the mind as a powerful force has to be a force for good. But then the force for good and not for evil, not for depravity, is going to depend on these four key variables we've touched about. Your associations, who you hang out with, young people, who you hang out with, who your friends are. The information, in other words, people speaking to you and you engaging information and imbibing, like my mother told me about a frog. If it jumps at you, your gender changes. That's powerful. That was powerful information that plunged itself deep into my innocence. And I believed it. And it shaped my thinking. And it formed my whole attitude to frogs and to life and all of that. So the people you hang with, the knowledge, the information, and of course,
the images, the images, what we see and what we encounter, and then the thoughts. Now, all of these we can control. The people you hang out with, the knowledge, the images, the thoughts, you can control. Thoughts are a little difficult to control, but you can control. If we control and determine that it will only be the positive, the good, the sane, the healthy, and the progressive, then the mind as a powerful force will be a force for good. Buddha also famously said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. What you think, you become. With this being understood, let us discuss quickly 5 principles that can be used to describe the underlying nature of mindsets. We're looking at the nature of mindsets. First of all, mindsets are habits of mind. The word mindset was first used in the 1930s to mean habits of mind formed by previous experience. So, whether it's with people, whether it's with the information, whether it's with imagery, whether it's with thought, all of these come together to form experience for us. Experience. So, forming mindsets and its nature is such that they are formed and undergirded and strengthened by experiences, our experiences. Meaning, just as it applies to our daily life, mindsets also form by the same principle of consistent past exposure, which finally warp into a mindset. So again, the past exposures to a loving mother who wanted us to, just using my personal example, I've just thrown into the equation of the conversation. She lovingly would say, if the frog jumps and touches you, your gender changes. Now, that was information. That was imagery. I was seeing the frogs, playing with the frogs, and all of that. But these words came from a trusted parent, because my mother, we believed and loved her and still do, even more now. Except we can filter what she tells us now because we're grown, you know, her kids, there are about 6 of us. I mean, we all are grown and, you know, matured, live life. But my point is, at that early, innocent, young age, that age of vulnerability, you just eat anything, eat the information. Those past exposures and all of that formed the mindset. They warped into a mindset, plus other things and experiences. So for you, I don't know what you can immediately put your finger on, which constitutes your past experiences that has formed a certain mindset for you. The point, however, is that our mindset has to do with what we've been exposed to, that has constituted our experience. That is what has formed mindset for us. Now, mindset, point number 2, creates blind spots. They provide us with fragmented ways of looking at the world, never with complete facts of what is. We always see the world through the filter of our mindsets, and our mindsets are always incomplete. In other words, blind spots. For those of you who drive, you know that if, you know, as you're driving, you can have, and this is normally part of, you know, driving lessons. If you know, before you learn to drive, you will take lessons. One of the lessons is to understand that as you drive and as you focus ahead of you, you have blind spots behind you. Now, between the side mirror and the driver's mirror, the driving mirror, you could have an object, whether moving or stationary, caught in between these 2 mirrors. Now, if you looked on your side mirror, you could see almost everything behind you. If you looked at the driving mirror ahead of you, you could see everything again behind you. However, even though you have these 2 mirrors to work with in order to see your rear view, have a good rear view, it still doesn't give you a 180-degree view, full view. So between the 2 mirrors, you could have in between, that's what is called your blind spot. In between these 2 mirrors, You could have an object you never see. You never see. And so as you reverse or as you bring the car backward, you could hit an object. And you would say that object was in your blind spot. Just using the analogy of driving to explain this. That's your blind spot. Now, mindset, no matter what the mindset is, it doesn't give you, just like these two mirrors, it doesn't give you the full 180-degree view of the full truth. And yet, mindset is such that mindset will convince you you see the full truth. Just as you look at a driver's mirror and a side mirror and think you do have the full rear view and yet not have the full rear view, that is the nature of mindset. So therefore, mindset has to make room and allowance to be appealed to. Mindset has to make room to be engaged. Mindset always has to know that there is more to know than what you know. In other words, there's a gap, and the gap needs patience. A bit of patience to engage, and to dig and to get the information, all the information that is available and that can be available. I hope I've explained this well. I don't know if it makes the point, but what it just means, and let me say it again and in much simpler terms, your mindset is still not the full truth of everything there is to know about the issue you're dealing with. Even when you think you know the person, you think you know, and you believe you know, and you know that you know, you must still make some room for the possibility of some aspects you didn't know, or even room for the possibility of change and transformation for good. Because you may have known the person yesterday or 2 days ago, or a few weeks ago. Not literally, but you may have known the person a little bit back in the day. You don't still deal with the person in a cast and, as it were, lock the person in prison in a particular thought of your mind that says, this is who this person is. Well, the individual may have transformed and may have changed. So that's the blind spot bit to mindset. Now that's the nature of mindset. So important. Let me just do this again. Mindsets are habits of mind. Habits of mind. Okay? Habits of mind. Mindsets they create blind spots. And then we say mindsets are created by experiences. Mindsets are created from the distinctions we are able to make about our experiences. For example, your mindset concerning success will be based on some experience you had with success and what you took out of the said experience. So mindset is all experiences. Mindset are self-deceptive. Any attempt to shift our mindsets will be met by powerful forces. An example of this force is our tenacity for confirmation bias. That is, the searching for and recalling of information that reconfirms our pre-existing beliefs. It's pretty much like blind spot, and it's also pretty much like experiences, but more like blind spots. Okay, they are self-deceptive because when you are confronted with knowledge that our facts represent truth, your mindset you have formed will still oppose the new information you have and, as it were, convince you about the old position of the previous mindset and how it's positioned. So that if you believe that when the mind is set in a particular direction, that's why we say mindset. When it is set, like you set concrete, in a particular direction, it is difficult. That's the other point about this aspect of the nature of mindset. When we say mindsets are self-deceptive, what we're saying is mindset, once it is set, once it is set like concrete, going in a particular path, in a particular direction, it is difficult to, as it were, undo and reset what's already been set. Because you see, what's been set prior is set based on certain notions, certain conceptions, certain perceptions, and those perceptions, those conceptions, those notions can be so steep and deep. Once they are steep and deep, it's not easy to, as it were, move them and replace them with the new information, the new facts, the new perspectives, the new ideas, the new thoughts, which really may be more progressive and maybe more factual, more truthful than the previous. And so, again, mindset and the nature of mindset is such that they can be self-deceptive. They have the potential to be self-deceptive. Again, this is why, young people, what you expose yourself to, whether by internet, by social media, whether by the friends you hang with or the people you engage with, whether by the association, all of it, all of this is important for you to consciously control. You have to control. You can control. You have the power to control all of these so that you determine what feeds and forms your mindset. The people you hang out with, your associations, the information, the kind of information you allow to bombard you and to blast you and to engage you, all of that. Of course, the thoughts and the thought life and the thought systems, definitely the associations, all of that. I've said all this already. All of it together, the images, the imagery, the kind of things you expose yourself to, they all form your mindset. Remember, you are what you think. You are your mindset, and your mindset is you. Whatever your life is, that is a direct reflection of your mindset. Now, our final bit on this is mindsets shape our everyday lives. That's so powerful. We make our mindsets, and thereafter our mindsets make us. Our thoughts, words, and actions radiate out of our mindsets like ripples on the surface of a lake. And I wish I could say this differently. I wish I could say this in a more engaging way to make the point, to drive home the point. You, even if you didn't know your mindset, or even if you had no idea of what your mindset looks like, just look at your actions, look at the people around you, look at your choices, look at your behavior, look at your habits, look at your engagements, look at your character, look at who you are, look at how you know your life, the quality of your choice, your words, your choices, your words, your actions, your habits, your character. Look at the quality of all of that. That tells you who you are. Now, how do we change this? Next week, we're going to go further and look at it some more. We're going to look at the brain and mindset. It's important to look at that angle, and then we'll come back to look at how to deal with the mindset so that it will impact our lives. I cannot thank you enough, as always, for joining in, making time to hang with us. Please subscribe, like, share, especially this topic on mindset, because I guarantee you, if your mindset is wrong, your desires will be wrong, and everything else will be wrong. In fact, everything about the power of you is going to be wrong, because this is the base. This is what everything sits on. The mindset. I want to thank you again. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you. Have a good night.